Hey, what's up everyone? My name's AJ Wrights Crypto. Here we are in Los Angeles, California, and I am with the founder of Vechain and VeBetterDAO, Sonny Liu. Sonny, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. So last night was UFC 311, absolutely packed house. Shout out to Marab and Islam, but also, you know, the VFam showed out last night. We had Wendy O, Crypto Stash, Altcoin Daily, everyone was in the house. Did you have a good time last night?
Oh yeah, for sure. But also before that, I wanted to shout out to share the appreciation to the Los Angeles firefighters. You know, they did a lot of the tremendous work to guarantee the safety, to recover from the disaster. That's why we can have the 311 in Los Angeles still on schedule, right? That's why we can have a good time and people have a safe life here. So I really wanted to do a big shout first. Appreciation to all of the Los Angeles firefighters.
For sure.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you to all the firefighters out there. You know, I don't even know where to go from here. Just when that happens to people, it like breaks your heart, man.
Yeah.
Like this whole recovery. I really want to see California heal together, and I think it will. I mean, it's a very vibrant place, and
we have a resilience.
Yeah,
I don't worry about that.
Yeah, similar to people in crypto.
Oh, of course.
You know, we're always putting out fires around here. What can we say?
Yeah.
But you know, so Sonny, I saw a tweet the other day.
Yeah.
And it was UFC President Dana White.
Oh.
And he was wearing
the Vechain shirt,
a
right?
T-shirt. Kind of similar to the ones we're wearing.
Yes.
So to continue this idea, you had a one-on-one meeting. With Dana White.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to tell me about this.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I met Dana a couple of times in the past. Actually, funny enough, the first time I met him, he was doing the internal pilot show of Power Slap event in Performance Institute in Vegas. That was 3 years ago. But yeah, recently I had a very interesting meeting with Dana, and it went pretty long. Honestly, I really appreciate that, and I learned a lot, and also share a lot with Dana about what we're doing, and also, you know, for the upcoming projects, working with UFC Foundation, 4ocean.com. Well, although I have to be honest, it's still in the paperwork process in terms of the contract, in terms of the collaborations. But I would say everybody is quite happy so far. And it just get to our legal team, and their legal team work on the paperwork, maybe just take a couple of weeks. But I'm pretty excited about that. Generally speaking, honestly, I respect Dana very much.
Of course.
I want to share some of my personal perspective and also the conversation with Dana. You know, I starting a very honest response to Dana. I told Dana, like, look, we have been working with UFC for 3 years now. You know, we're looking for long-term partnership, and we did some good things like gloves, right, with a chip, register on the Vechain blockchain, and also there are upcoming great partnerships. I like that. However, 3 years ago, when I made a decision, I'm not really a big fan of UFC. Dana was like, with eyes pop up, like, oh, why then, right? I share my thoughts. Firstly, statistically, UFC was, and even now, is the fastest growing sports with the global exposure.
It's actually insane if you look at the numbers of their social media growth, especially from COVID. Because they had the Fight Island, and their numbers have gone.
Honestly, they had a difficult time during the COVID because some of the stupid regulations. They cannot do the fights as normal.
They went to Fight Island and made all that happen, and they were the only thing on. And I mean, honestly, anyone who is using UFC as a platform for sponsorship, all eyes are on you. All the eyes are on you. And, I mean, Vechain, it's hard to sleep on that partnership. It really is.
And also, I shared to Dana, like, after all of the metrics I analyzed about the UFC, even I was not a big fan, but, you know, I can see the potentials in terms of the growing, in terms of, you know, global expansion, and their strategy, the global expansion strategy, pretty aligned ours. You know, US as a base, and Europe as just recently opened up, and then start to expand in Asia as well. As a matter of fact, the Singapore fights a couple years ago was my first official fight going to see as a UFC.
Wow.
That's a first. Secondly, I also, I respect the guy. I respect Dana very much. As an entrepreneur, I know like how hard he has done get out of the mud of get the UFC out of the mud like 20 something years ago, right? And eventually, as a result, people see like how successful right now of the UFC. But remember that when Dana took over, it's just $2 million. $2 million investment turning into $1 billion valuation right now. I think the annual revenue is about 1.something billion.
Wow.
So it shows, it never comes along like easily, I'm sure. So as an entrepreneur, I would say I have a lot of respect to that guy. He actually shared a very interesting story.
Really?
His second baby, I don't even remember he's a son or daughter or something. His second baby has a expected date, but with a conflict with one of the biggest events at that time, right? And then I said, that's not gonna happen. And I was like, okay. And then next thing he said is, I convinced my wife to do a C-section to get the baby out a few days earlier, like a couple of days earlier. Well, that shows commitment. That shows devotion. I know you have a baby come along. I hope you will not be in that kind of situation.
I will not be asking Jada for anything like that. I promise.
But, I mean, it's a commitment, right? It's all in. It's a commitment. That's a way. That's also my respect to that guy. So I really like that.
Sure. And so to elaborate, so not only this year has Vechain kind of deepened its partnership with the UFC and UFC Foundation, but also now you're getting into Power Slap. And we have an amazing slogan coming, by the way. Top shelf.
Well, firstly, I want to be very honest as well. Also, it's in the process of the paperwork.
Right,
but
as you said.
We already share our commitment. I'm sure both of us going to play in a good faith. It's just a matter of the time.
Yep.
When I think about a Power Slap, I think it's also something I learned recently. Actually, coming from one of the conversations with Dana and his team as well. 20 years ago, when Dana looked at the UFC, I would say he looked at the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But why it's opportunity? Firstly, he was a big fan of boxing.
Yep.
He's one of the role model is Ali. And even he has a statue of Ali inside of the headquarters of UFC.
That's pretty cool.
But he kind of feel like there are lots of places could be improved in boxing industries.
Sure.
At that time, let's think about that. 20, 30 years ago, boxing has been like this way for 50, 60 years.
It's the same.
Right? It's the same thing.
Over and over.
Yeah, and lots of constraints, right?
Yeah.
You cannot do this, you cannot do that.
Too many rules.
Yeah, too many rules. And it's kind of boring,
Yeah.
especially to the young fellows,
Yes.
like 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
They needed the new thing.
Yeah, they need a new thing.
Right.
So Dana more like, okay, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
And I want to make an innovation. I want to introduce more categories of martial arts into that. Plus, fighting is kind of minting the DNA of a human being, right? And also, it could not only good to your physical health. You gotta work very hard. You gotta very disciplined to build your body and everything. But also, it's very good to your mental health as well.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what kind of situation you are, what kind of challenges or difficulties you could be, and eventually kind of fight back.
Yeah.
And you could lose one game or twice. Well, not John Jones, right? He never lost.
Never.
But for most of the guys, let's say, you can lose, you can fail once, but never mind. You always come back.
Yeah.
That's the resilience we have been talking about. So it's also good to your mental health. So he kind of start to innovate the new form of fighting, showing all of the good stuff. That's how UFC comes along.
Yep.
So I think for Power Slap, it's still very small, but I can see the potential of that.
And
that's why.
And like we were talking yesterday, Power Slap is like the TikTok of combat sports.
Oh yeah.
It just creates viral moments.
And honestly, I can see the connectivity or connections for what we're doing. Right. I will share with you, even though we're still working on the, some of the campaign or some of the contents.
Okay.
But think about that. We have been focused on the VeBetterDAO on Vechain, right?
Yeah.
And VeBetterDAO is a platform to incentivize people to do good things, to make a better choice on daily basis, like drink coffee with reusable mug or using EV like Tesla, EV Earn. But also, if you think about that, if you don't do good actions, if you see, if someone's still going to the Starbucks with a paper cup, then what do? You get slapped.
You get slapped.
So I think that's a good part, right?
I love that.
So on the other side, I feel like the new word is in a new trend. Let's put it this way. Yes, you need to be serious about something good, something serious, something professional. Yeah. But also, why not having fun at the same time, right? And if you get like virtually, I'm not talking about be violent, really slap someone, but if you get virtually have that kind of impression, that's a bad actions. You might get slapped virtually even. And it's also helping people to grow the new positive habits and something. So I really like this partnership. I'm looking forward to work with them to create more innovative, fun campaigns together.
Sure.
So eventually we're gonna do two sides of work. One is continue to encourage people to do good things, but also sending a message to people, remind you, do good things, otherwise you get slapped.
Or
that
you
type
get
of
slapped.
ideas.
I love that. That's a top shelf campaign. I'm a big fan. There should be a coin like $SLAP that drains your wallet.
Well, if you do that online, then next day you will find out some meme coin already over there.
Already have a new meme about slap. That would check out. So, we met some really interesting people at the fight last night that from 4Ocean. And tell me about, this kind of getting together with the UFC Foundation and Dana White and, cleaning up the ocean.
Yeah, well, firstly, I really like what 4Ocean has been doing. They're devote themselves, firstly, they're NGO, non-profit organization.
And they're really nice guys, by the way.
Yeah, very nice guy. And I really respect the passion. The CEO, Alex, you met last night, he is living by the water. He grew up by the water, by the ocean. He really he sees all of the damages to the ocean per se, right? Unfortunately, as a human being. Like last night, we talked about every year, people produce 450 million tons plastic. And lots of things, lots of waste goes to the ocean. As a result, kill more than 100,000 marine animals every year. And that's just by the record. I think the real number could be really bigger than this, right? It just nobody knows.
How are you going to quantify that?
Yes. So he really devoted himself and build up the technology, build up the resource, infrastructure like boats to clean up the ocean as the best we can.
Wow.
So Dana also liked this project and he shouted out.
And he reached out to them.
Yeah, he reached out to them.
That's
right?
wild.
According Alex shared with us last night. He reached out to them, calling Alex and tried to do their part to support this initiative. So for example, last April, Dana actually went to Miami to do some actions and also shout out in his own social media, I think Instagram, Twitter, to calling for actions, people to support the 4Ocean, right? So you can have different ways. You can join the campaign. You can be certified partner to do the ocean cleanup together, leveraging with their resources, their techniques, their process, their expertise, how to make the ocean more clean, how to collect all of those recycled plastics and put in the right use,
right?
And save the marine animals. Also, even you don't have, let's say, convenience to go to physical locations to do the physical jobs, you can just simply donate.
Yeah.
I think lots of, let's say, I would say, crypto communities, I love to do that.
Yeah.
When I talk to our fans in the mixer on Friday, everybody likes this idea.
Yeah.
Like, even I'm not able to travel, or I have my own schedule conflicts, but I want to support those guys.
Yeah.
You know,
it completely aligns with the heart and soul and intent of VBetter.
Yeah. So
completely.
what we're going to do is, firstly, we will leverage our strengths, right? We will try to think about, build up some traceability solution to prove all of the recycled plastic is really collecting from ocean as the first step. And also, looking for the collaboration with UFC Foundation together.
Yeah.
By the way, UFC Foundation is a little bit different than UFC.
Of course. Yeah.
UFC Foundation is also an NGO. I met the CEO, Brian. It's a very nice guy as well. Very passionate, very devoted for any sustainability angles. Unite the community of UFC.
Yeah.
They actually have a hashtag, it's called UFC in Community. And they want to unite all of the fans to do something good, to do the positive things together, right? So I would say there were lots of going on, but starting from beginning, we wanted to, let's say, leverage with our VeBetterDAO ecosystem to create some really fun experience with crypto fans, but also at the same time to support either UFC Foundation or either 4ocean.com for a good cause.
Sure.
And share the results back, saying like, imagine you are, let's put it in a simple way, you are donating Better token, VET token, even VSO token, right, to 4Ocean, and you get a mystery box. And you can, let's say, open up the mystery box to, let's say, having some prize. It could be a merch, could be a ticket, could be anything as a prize, right? Or even could be a fun experience, like we call money you cannot buy experience, with the UFC or with the 4Ocean even. And then we are able to, let's say, we will do the all of the payment solution or financial solution to make the the money goes to 4Ocean and really do the results. And then you will receive the big results as a collective efforts. And you will see, I'm part of the effort. I'm part of the contributions. And maybe eventually later on, you will feel more proud of what we're doing together. You want to go to the on-site. And plus, it could be, if you are an entrepreneur, you could also partner with 4Ocean to establish, let's say, more infrastructure or even team to do the real ocean cleanup globally, everywhere.
Sure.
It's part of the global expansion
they
plan.
have 28 vessels in 4 countries or something.
Well, they're starting to think about the goes to, let's say, even Southeast Asia as well.
Wow.
I think there are lots of work to be done as well.
For sure.
But I think the core message for 4Ocean, I really like that, is despite the big narrative or storytelling only, but put the actions, on the ground. Just do it. And then maybe starting from the beginning, it's relatively small, but it doesn't matter. With more and more people to join, small efforts from every day matters. And as a collective way, it's gonna blow everyone's mind. Right? And the Web3 is a perfect technology to unite everyone to do that. That's why we kind of instantly make the, kind of love each other with those guys. And also we got the UFC Foundation to join. And
That's
so
awesome.
It's basically going to be a 3-party collaboration. Again, I want to be very honest. We're still working on the paperwork to formalize. But that's something like really, really exciting about that.
That's really big.
And I'm sure Dana going to love what we're doing. And maybe, he could join us for some kind of campaign upcoming this year as well.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
When I talked to them, it completely aligned with VBetter. And I saw we did a bunch of tweets yesterday about the UFC event, and like some people are like, wait, so like VBetter is on the mat now instead of Vechain. Like, does that take away from Vechain? And I'm like, whoa. Like, understand that VBetter is, first of all, a completely calculated push from empirical data derived by the Boston Consulting Group. And I think to those people that worry, understand that the 2030 projections for the sustainability is actually a higher projection than RWA's.
Yeah, I think
that's really important point to drive home, and the fact that Vechain is the 1-2 punch on both of those narratives. I just got to drive that home for people that have doubts.
100% agree. And fundamentally, what gives the value to, let's say, a project or company or anything, right? It's really about your technology or your product, your platform, putting the good use, and you can create the value. You can bring the benefits to people. And that's actually, I believe, is the main theme for 2025 for the entire crypto. Firstly, we believe 2025 is going to be super bullish for crypto as a whole. And plus, US will be the center of the Web3 for 2025. Nobody can argue about that.
Nope. Right? Trump coin.
Well, we get to that maybe the other session.
Next time.
So what's going to be the main theme, in my view, it should be a mass adoption. It should be a real utilities. And from sustainability angle, we actually talk about the 4Ocean case. It's a perfect example to show how Web3, how crypto can unite the normal people to do a good thing together, but also sharing rewards, encourage people to do the good things, right? So I would say that's that type of the mass adoption for both. One, for technology, for Web3. People know, like, I can use crypto, use blockchain for a good thing to create the value. And then second part is what kind of value you're creating. And then those low-hanging fruits, I would say, is, or most obvious one, is sustainability. Because it's so, let's say, inclusive. It should be inclusive. It should be everyone's mission. It shouldn't be the top-down strategy come from the big corporation. Even some of the narrative, I feel like it's being weaponized. Actually,
for sure.
Briefly, we discussed during the Dana White's meeting, and he agreed that very much. And he likes what we're doing. He promised, he wants to do anything he can to also help the growth of what we're doing as well. So in a nutshell, I would say mass adoption is going to be the main theme. And also, let's say, from technology-wise, we got to prove to the world it's in a good use, right? It really can generate the value for everyone's. So that's a little bit long-term play, but that's Vechain's vibe. We have been doing like this all the time.
For sure. And it's also one of those things that with VeBetterDAO is that I think people always want instant gratification. They want that quick flip, they want results, they want it now. But with but if you do mugshot every day for 2 years, and if you do mugshot every day and you log stepper and you do your grocery receipts with Green Card and you have an electric vehicle with EV and you do all of these actions all the time, it's about a habit.
You address a very good point. Actually, that's what we have been working on. Could be released just in a few weeks. We call it impact results visualization. We got to show to people, okay, you drink coffee with mugshot or you charge your Tesla once. What does it mean? What is the result? What your contribution to a big part of results, right? A part of a big results. So we want to show to you every time you do, it actually save a small percentage of a tree's life. As we talk about, every year we consume 6.5 million trees, just reduce paper cups, produce paper cups, right? So if you save a little bit, then you save a small percentage of one tree, something like that. And also for EVM as well, we have been focused on the big improvements in terms of the user convenience. So right now, if you are a Tesla owner, you can use your Tesla account to log in the EVN right away. Right? You don't need to be a crypto user. You don't need to like understand all of the crypto stuff, but you can just log in your Tesla account.
Use your Tesla account
to log in the
very
EVN.
Simple.
And you get your car information uploaded to EVN automatically, and also the API with a Tesla system kind of enable you, every time you do the charging, the data will automatically load it to you, the EVN, that's to the smart contract, and smart contract will calculate, okay, how much you're charging, and then I give you rewards right away, in the better token as a format. Then you don't need to do anything. It's let's say focus on the user convenience, but also the next step, again, is a visualization of the impacts. How much, as a Tesla driver, you are contributing to the big mission. Right. Maybe eventually to like how Elon Musk is getting people to the Mars, you might play a little bit contribution into that. You know, we wanted to, as a result, to share to you and then unite everyone to encourage people to do more EV, use EV, other than just fossil car, which is not really, let's say, recycled energy. It's quite aligned what Tesla as a company mission or company vision as well. So yeah, that's a very good point. We have been working on that. We're gonna continue to iterate the products. Like I keep telling my team, you know, we do quick and dirty, that's fine, but we need to iterate all the way up. So as a summary, revisit back a little bit back to your last question. We're not giving up Vechain for sure.
Of course not. Of course, it all happens on that blockchain. Of course not.
And the VeBetterDAO is the way to reveal the value of Vechain blockchain or carry on the value of the Vechain blockchain. Plus, this year also are very critical to Vechain as well. We have Vechain Renaissance coming up. Right. Well, there are lots of things going to reveal, but simply to say high level, 3 phase we call Galactica, focus on the technical upgrades, EVM capability, and also dynamic gas fees to increase the demands of VSOL. And then the next phase, Hayabusa, it's majorly focused on changing, upgrading the consensus. We wanted to, let's say, engage all of the X node, economic nodes to, let's say, increase, eventually motivate people with higher APY to secure the network with higher percentage of staking.
So you giving a facelift makeover to the staking as it exists, and
we're going to upgrade that.
Upgrading that.
We're going to upgrade that. So right now, let's say
like with VeThor.
The VeThor tokenomics going to be upgraded. Well, it's a little bit complicated, but we can have a dedicated session actually on that.
I would love to have that conversation.
But simply to say, right now, when you validate the network, you're running authority mass nodes, right? And you got a 25 million VET each. And total staking is about 2.5 billion because it's 101 nodes, right? And in the Hayabusa phase, the second phase, we want to upgrade the POA to be POA 3.0 to answer some of the compliance from the regulation side. That's also a main theme, right? Whatever MiCA of Europe or possible US regulations. But it's simply to say we wanted to engage X node and economic node to ride along with validator together to secure the network. So that means the future staking is going to be the validator itself as an authority mass node, plus the delegator. The delegator means economic node, X node. So you can choose whatever the server, whatever the validator you want to run delegation to them, and you are sharing the rewards with the validator because you are part of, securing the network process. Right. So based on our calculation, the APY to each delegator to validator could be up to 20-something%. Well, even let's say, we also run several simulations. If totally we're reaching to, let's say, 20 billion or 30 billion as a validation, comparing today's 2.5.
Right.
It's like 10 times, right? You still can have like a 5 to 6% of APY.
That's great.
Averagely.
Yeah, I mean, that's competitive.
Right. It's but imagine if we can have 20 or 30 billion staking to secure the network, comparing today's 2.5.
Sure.
I mean, that's gonna be, well, we can get to there, right?
Totally,
like in the dedicated session, because it's quite a long conversation.
Sonny and I, we've actually have decided to start doing long form crypto podcasts. And I think that Sonny actually inspired me to do this idea, because I look around at all my fellow crypto KOL friends.
Yeah.
No one is doing like the sit down for 2 hours and talk to your friend type live stream. And I think that you and I are going to do the first one, and I think it's going to be a thing that I do from here on out, because I think it's to have that natural feel to a conversation, two friends talking about things. It doesn't always have to be this focused thing on this one.
Or news dropping.
Exactly. Right? It can just be a catch up, and I think that you and I. We have some conversations that we could talk forever. I know you have to. You're headed to Singapore sometime. Sometimes you have big things to do, but we also have a couple ideas around. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, one of the big reasons I really like AJ is you have a saying like being real, be authentic. You don't want to, pretend something. You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Thank you.
So I think the long form session, I think we just level up or escalate that type of saying. Like, let's be real. We're just two friends. Actually, every time I met AJ, we can talk for hours. Right? There are lots of things to talk, lots of insights to share, and most of the time we can find the inspirations from our conversations.
Sure.
Right. So really like that. That's why I suggest you do that.
Yeah.
But also we can get the people more engaged, more interacted, and even along in some of the campaigns we could do to make the VeBetterDAO well known by more people. Right. For example, we're encourage, let's say we're promoting the EV Earn.
Yep.
Like I mentioned.
And really fast, I am going to have a step-by-step tutorial on the channel very soon for you to set up EV Earn if you already own an electric vehicle.
We can leverage that. For example, every long form session, why don't we set up like a Tesla as a reward?
Wait, a Tesla for the audience?
For the audiences, right? I mean, we're not gonna do like every day, but let's say we do once few months, once a quarter, long firm. Firstly, people get insights, maybe get inspired by our conversation, like friends talking, as well. But also, you could learn something. You could want a Tesla, baby. Why not?
Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. I like that.
Right.
So, four Teslas a year.
We could do that.
You never know. You never know. And all you have to do is, get involved. Obviously, follow the channel, follow Vechain on Twitter, do some actions on VeBetterDAO, and you'll be entered in the giveaway. You never know. Just like that. And we also, I do want to touch on this before we leave today. I know, from where you stand, you're not allowed to talk about price action. You're not allowed to talk price prediction.
Yeah.
But VFam, we do have a running joke that if Vechain ever hits $1, BMO. I'll put him on the screen right here.
I like BMO.
I like BMO too.
Yeah.
He's even on the Cybertruck. We love BMO.
Yeah.
We love BMO. If Vechain gets $1, me and a couple members of the VFam are going to get a tattoo of BMO.
Okay, sign me in.
You're in.
Sign me in.
All right. If we ever get to $1 with Vechain,
we could do a live show by then, like do the,
We'll
together.
do a podcast just getting tattooed while having the conversation. That'd be great.
Yeah, I like BMO.
That'd be great. I like BMO too. So, so hey, if you want to get a BMO tattoo, we'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Okay.
I pay for that too.
There we go. Well, Sonny, as always, man, thank you so much for your time. It's always such a pleasure to talk. I could sit here and talk to you for hours, but I know you got to catch a flight and you're headed to Singapore. Any insight on what are you doing in Singapore? Just really fast before we go.
Lots of things, but majorly focus on the utility of the Better token. And also, let's say that's another big topic.
Okay.
We could address next time.
Okay.
But simply to say, Vechain's strategy for 2025 is 3 layers. Top line, front line is VeBetterDAO. All of the applications like EVR, like Moksha, get to the normal people on board, do better every day, right? Sure. So for mass adoptions. And bottom line is Vechain Renaissance. To secure the infrastructure, be compliant for the regulation, even made advanced step, even the compliance didn't, let's say compliance need to iterate as well, right? So we even wanted to make pre-steps to make sure we are more compliant and also secure the networks, encourage more people to stake, secure the network together, be more decentralized. That's the bottom line.
Of course.
And the middle line, we want to make a super application hub to support the VeBetterDAO, make not only users easier, but also make the builders so much easier to drive for the mass adoption. Right. So that's my main, let's say, target for my next follow-up Singapore trip.
Perfect.
But not that long, just 2 weeks. I will come back to US and Europe again.
Perfect. Well, when you come back to America, definitely let me know.
Sure.
I'm sure in the next couple months, we'll schedule our first long-form conversation.
Yeah.
And everybody, make sure you keep an eye out, subscribe to the channel, follow myself and Sunny, all the links down bebelow if you want to follow us on Twitter
and also everything. You guys can come up with AJ any topics you want to talk.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to be like a crypto news will be the main thing, but anything.
For sure.
Anything you want to talk, and as just friends talking.
Yep.
We can share our thoughts, our insights, and we get inspiration from everyone from you.
Yep. Awesome. Yes. Any questions you have? Maybe I'll even do a giveaway before the interview. Any question you have for Sunny, and then I will give away. We'll pick your question if you get chosen. We'll give you credit in the interview, and we'll send you $100 in Better tokens. So there we go. I love doing that, so the audience feels they're involved. I do that in a lot of interviews.
All right,
it's
cool.
a thing I like to do, and I like to give away to the audience and give back. And we do have a couple active giveaways over on Twitter for some Vechain merch. And Vechain as well, and a couple hats, bags, stuff like that. Always more merch giveaways. The audience, they go crazy over the Vechain hats.
All right.
And are we allowed to say that we can buy them soon, or the marketplace? Are we allowed to say that? I can edit it out.
It's not, you cannot buy that, but if you're participating, you will win that as a prize.
There we go.
Right?
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Well, Sunny, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, get rich or
Take
get
care.
wrecked. Bye.
Vechain!